between you and do not want to get hit. I will be watching, holding, and hitting very carefully, and I will be watching for butts very carefully. Is there any questions from either of you? No. Go back to your corners, come back immediately. We'll start as if a traditional karate match.
This is a scheduled 12-rounder, 2-minute rounds. They have a minimum kick requirement of 8 that they must meet, and all those kicks must be above the waist. On the left, in the dark pants, Earnest Hart. And the defending champion of the red is Steve Shepard, who's 6 foot. He weighed in at 157 pounds. He will have considerable reach over Earnest Hart.
Yes, Gary, Steve is the taller man. He's a bigger man physically, even though he's not much heavier than Ernie Hart, and he's developed his record fighting bigger men than Ernie Hart, so that gives him an advantage from one point of view.
They do both weigh in at 157, but Earnest Hart is only 5'8½", as opposed to Shepard, who's 6 foot. Ernest Hart, who won the welterweight championship in Indianapolis on an October day, and losing it in March in Providence in a couple of shots there.
That's right. Steve Shepard caught Ernie with the right hand on the way in and followed with a left hook. Some people in Shepard's corner felt that that would be the way Steve Shepard could take this fight, is that Ernie would have to close the distance because he's a shorter man, and that Steve might catch him on the way in.
They say that Steve Shepard has vastly improved in the past few months.
He really has. He hasn't fought outside of Florida in his career, and that's one of the negative things about his ability to cope with Earnest Hart. He's fought all over the country, but in his last few bouts, Steve Shepard has looked very, very poised.
This is a 10-point must system that each round will be scored the first time.
Another good right hand by Steve Shepard over Ernie Hart's left hand.
It's hard to say that this is the first time they've gone 12 rounds at a championship bout.
That's right, and in these 12 rounds, each fighter has to throw 96 kicks. That's 96 kicks apiece, and they have only 24 minutes to do that.
30 seconds left in round 1. Break. Earnest Hart, when he lost the title in Providence, Rhode Island to Bob Ryan, was flu-ridden. He feels that he's strong, that he's ready to come back and do something about regaining it.
That's right. Ernie is really prepared for this fight. Both men now in this first round are feeling one another out. You're not seeing a lot of action. You're seeing some pretty hard, crisp shots by both Shepard and Hart, though.
Shepard with a 20-0 record. Won the title 4 months ago. That's the end of round 1. Round number 2 in the scheduled 12-rounder for the welterweight championship. Once again, Earnest Hart on the left, and on the right is Steve Shepard, the defending champion.
Ernie Hart's throwing some fairly fancy kicks, throwing good high kicks. I would guess to try to get Shepard's attention and get Shepard to pay attention to the kicks.
We have kick counters who are ringside, who will keep count to be sure that each one of them meets their requirement of 8 kicks per round.
In the last round, Ernie Hart kicked 11 times. Steve Shepard kicked 9 times. Like I say, each fighter has to throw 96 kicks if this bout goes the distance. It's a lot of kicks. Each man, 96 kicks. 192 kicks between the two of them in a 24-minute fight. These kicks take a lot of energy. Kicks like that land on the arm don't look to the average person like they're hurting, but you can count on the fact that Steve Shepard feels them not only in his arms, but on his ribs.
And you've got that dilemma then of having to protect down there, and then they move up on you.
That's right. You pull those arms down to protect the kicks to the body, and then the kick comes either to the head or a punch right behind it. Good jab then by Steve Shepard.
Earnest Hart really could hit with either hand and with either foot. He's very versatile.
That's right, he is. Ernie throws good punches with either hand. Steve Shepard says that Ernie Hart is an arm puncher, though. He hits only with his arm. He doesn't get much body behind the punch, and so Steve says that for that reason Ernie won't be able to hurt him.
That's right. Shepard said he cannot knock me out, but there was a pretty good left.
Good hook by Ernie then. Seemed to back Steve up a little bit, but I don't think it hurt him too badly. It landed a little high on his head. If they land close down to the jaws when they really hurt. Now, Steve Shepard inside there is very, very tricky. Saw him come under Ernie Hart's left hand in with a right uppercut. Caught Ernie under the chin with it.
Inside 30 seconds to go in round number 2. Harvey Hastings, a referee from Fort Lauderdale.
Steve Shepard throwing with a front kick, threw a roundhouse kick in, missed Ernie, almost caught his foot in the ropes.
And so we're coming down to the end of round number 2. And Earnest Hart, who's been on our CBS Sports Spectacular for the 3rd time counting this fight, and a very, very popular performer in full contact karate. Round 3 in the scheduled 12-rounder from the Georgia Tech Coliseum in Atlanta, Georgia. Thus far, how do you go the first 2 rounds, Joe? Very even?
Yeah, both of the first 2 rounds looked even to me. Both fighters feeling each other. A good spinning back kick then by Ernie Hart. Almost caught Steve Shepard on the end of the nose. Got his hand in the way just in time.
You can see where that being 6 foot helps, trying to avoid the kicking of Hart.
Ernie's having to stay out of Steve's punching range, which makes it a little hard for him to get his kicks in close enough. He's having to start his kicks from out pretty far, and Steve's doing a pretty good job of keeping Ernie out. Good right hand in by Steve. Ernie pulled his head back out of the way in the Ali tradition to get out of the way of it.
In the previous fights that we've watched Hart, he's always been aggressive, but this time he's not trying to swarm the opponent.
That's right. He knew that he would run into trouble if he tried to move in on Shepard, because he knows that Shepard punches very hard, so he's going to try to move in and move out. Ernie said before the fight he was going to move in and out so fast that Shepard would forget who he was fighting.
Shepard said that he thinks he's in better shape than Hart, and they may find out.
Yes, conditioning can really play a big part of this fight, if it goes the distance, especially in these 12 rounds. So far in the bout, Ernie Hart has thrown 22 kicks in the first 2 rounds. Steve Shepard has thrown 17, so Ernie Hart's throwing more kicks.
Joe, how fast are those kicks moving?
The kicks that start off the back leg, like Ernie Hart's throwing them, are probably landing at about 40 miles an hour. So when you think of something the size of that leg landing on your arm at 40 miles an hour, let alone your ribs or your head, then it's going to do a lot of damage to you.
30 seconds in round number 3.
Ernie's trying to get Steve Shepard to come to him, but Steve is being fairly coy about that. You notice what I was talking about inside. Steve Shepard gets inside and will score up points inside. Ernie Hart's giving those points away to Steve Shepard, so to speak. Steve's getting in there throwing 2 or 3 body shots, maybe a shot to the head inside.
Break. And there is the end of round 3.
Well, the welterweight fight between Steve Shepard and Ernie Hart remained fairly even. So right now, let's pick up the action in the 10th round of the scheduled 12-rounder. And let's go back to Gary Bender at Georgia Tech.
Scheduled 12-rounder for the Professional Karate Association Welterweight Championship. Earnest Hart in the black trousers. He's the challenger, the defending champion of the red trousers, Steve Shepard.
Ernie Hart's looking very, very determined now. Steve Shepard's lost that kind of mad, determined look that he had in his eyes. He looks very methodical, though. He's picking his shots very well now. To a good left hand, good right hand there. And the left hook raised off the shoulder of Earnest Hart then.
Boy, we just have complete opposites out there in style and temperament and everything.
That's right. Ernie Hart is very colorful when he's outside the ring. He's a very good fighter to watch. But he is very, very deadly serious.
Our expert commentator, Joe Corley. I'm Gary Bender, and we're at the Georgia Tech Coliseum for the Welterweight Championship.
So far in this fight, Gary, we've seen a tremendous number of kicks thrown. Like I said, when Bill Wallace and I thought we only had to throw 54 kicks in the fight. So far in this fight, Steve Shepard has thrown 75 kicks. Earnest Hart has thrown 89 kicks already.
And we're really in no man's land. This is the first time a championship fight has gone into the 10th round.
That's right. It's a real test of both men's stamina. Steve Shepard has fought 1 9-round fight in his career. Ernie Hart has fought 2 9-round bouts.
30 seconds left in round 10. Boy.
Oh, Steve Shepard trying with a hard right hand uppercut then. He gave it away, though. You could see it coming.
If this goes the distance as it's going right now, it's going to be a tough decision, isn't it?
It really is. It's very, very close. I have Ernie Hart ahead by only 1 point, 89 to 88 in the point scoring.
There's a nice right hand. And there's the end of round 10. That's the end. The defending champion, Steve Shepard, continues to be plagued by some eye trouble. What is it, Joe? Can you tell much?
Seems to be a little damage under the eyebrow and swelling from under to up.
Boy, what a right hand. We just saw it again by Earnest Hart. All right, this is the next to the last scheduled round, the 11th round in this welterweight championship.
I think what I'm seeing happen now, Gary, is that Ernie Hart is beginning to pick his shots a little more reflexively. When there's an opening, he sees it and reacts on it reflexively. Steve Shepard is still being very methodical. He's kind of thinking about each shot that he's going to throw.
But they're running out of time, and neither one of them has any breathing room.
Oh, nice hook kick. Caught Steve Shepard on the right cheekbone there. He might have got the glove in the way a little bit, but you know it. Oh, good left hook by Steve. He caught Ernie time perfectly coming in with that left hook.
That's what you said. You'll get lulled into trouble and Hart
That's right. He really shouldn't be forcing the fight now.
And that's exactly as you called it. You said you cannot get too cocky, that all of a sudden Shepard can hurt you.
That's right. Well, Steve is very poised now. At that point, as they were being broken up, he was looking over to his corner. He wasn't at all troubled by what Hart was doing. He's looking over to get good instructions from his corner. That's what we mean when we talk about poise. Good left hand jab in by Steve Shepard. Caught Ernie coming in again. Steve has caught Ernie with some really hard shots this round.
This is probably the best round of the fight for Shepard.
Really is. Oh, nice hook. It was a little high by Ernie. That's the kind of thing that needs to land a little lower on the head, down the jaw. It landed right on the good spinning back fist in. It didn't land hard on Shepard's head.
Inside, 30 seconds to go. Round 11.
They exchanged jabs in. Shepard came behind with uppercut. Hart with the right hand.
Both these fighters really putting on a show here in the 11th round.
Oh, good right hand. That's an outside right hand that Steve Shepard threw in. Dazed Ernie a little bit. Came behind it with a left hook.
And what a round 11 for Steve Shepard with 1 to go.
Good right hand then. That was the outside right hand that Steve Shepard threw. Steve still has a little swelling.
And this is the 12th and final round for the Welterweight Championship, Professional Karate Association. The champion Shepard against the challenger, former welterweight champion Earnest Hart.
I think you can see both fighters going really strong in this round. They're both in really good shape, and I think they'll be able to fight full speed, full power this whole round.
Who would you give the fight to going into this final round?
Right now, I have Ernie Hart ahead by 1 point only.
And Hart is just going to start swarming him now.
Ernie knows the fight's close. He knows Shepard is the champion. He knows that it's his job to take the title away.
That's a good point. If you don't do it convincingly, you
oh, good right hook, hook kick, left spinning back kick combination. Oh, good left hand by Hart then. Shepard tried to counter with a right hand. Left hand beating there.
All of a sudden, Hart's able to get inside.
That's right. He's taking the fight to Steve Shepard. Jam inside the kick then. Shepard's missing his punches. Good left hook inside then by Ernie Hart.
Harvey Hastings, the referee, separates them as we're inside a minute to go in this fight.
Nice uppercut. Cut Shepard high up there on the eye that's swelling. Good right hand inside then by Steve Shepard. Both men throwing hard right hand. Both fists. Good left hand by Ernie Hart. Oh, nice kick by Ernie Hart. Roundhouse kick to the head.
Less than 30 seconds, and what a show these two guys are putting on.
I tell you, they're both in such phenomenal condition at this point. 90 kicks thrown so far by Steve Shepard. 105 kicks by Ernie Hart. Good right hand by Ernie Hart to the ear.
Boy, this crowd's on their feet here at the Georgia Tech Coliseum.
Good exchange. Both men landing good solid punches. A little bit off target, but landing solid. Good round kick by Ernie Hart. Left round kick.
And Hart with a flurry ends it. We'll be back with a decision of this Welterweight Championship after this commercial.
And again, the Welterweight Champion of the world.
Ernest. Congratulations, you did it.
Yes, sir. The man was a lot tougher than I thought he was. I'm going to give him credit. He was tough. But I knew me training good, working out hard, and doing the running from the dogs, like I said. It did the job for me. And I'm just glad I worked out for the man. He was a tough opponent, very tough. And I give him all the credit for in the world for what he's done. No, take nothing away from him because he was mean.
You had 113 kicks in this fight.
I know, man. I've been running with Army boots on. And weights. I've been doing all the stuff I can to get ready for this fight. Because I know the man was hard. It was heavy, but I came to get my title. And like I said, 2 times, baby, 2 times.
All right, now we're going to go back and we're going to look at some of your activity. Tell us about it.
Right here, I was trying to size the man up because he was pretty good with an uppercut to the right side. And I had to get over past his uppercut. A couple times he dinged me, but I had to really, just take it to him. bob and weave on them hoe and hit them and fight them because I knew I was behind in a couple of times because I didn't put enough pressure on them.
That's what I was going to say. You had to come on strong in the 12th. You did it. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
Earnest Hart Jr., the welterweight champion from St. Louis, Missouri, regaining his crown after losing it last March. Let's go back to New York now.